What's up, awesome YouTubers? Ryan1988 or Justin back here to do a video for you guys. It's been at least 2 weeks since my last video, probably going on 3. I know, I'm always late making videos and I don't do one every week, but I try to post them if I'm not busy. And today I actually have some free time, so I wanted to make a video for you guys. And since the year is coming to a close, 2018 is coming to a close, and 2019 is going to be next month, I figure I'd start doing videos talking about top 10 movies of 2018, top 10 Blu-ray releases. Those are just some videos I have in mind, and hopefully I'll be able to make them. But today, I'm going to talk about horror films that came out in 2018, and there was a lot of them. Some were awesome, I loved them, some were disappointing, and some were good. But I will say, there's not one movie that I'm going to talk about that I completely hated. I enjoyed these movies for what they are. I think a lot of them do have the problems, and I will talk about that. And at the end of the video, I'm going to talk about 4 categories. My favorite horror movie of the year, the best one, my least favorite one or disappointing one, an overhyped one, and an underrated one. So I'm going to pick and choose out of those at the end of the video, and I hope you enjoy the video, guys. Obviously, we all have our opinions. You might have a different opinion than I do, but this is kind of how I feel about these horror movies of this year. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let's get started by mentioning 2 of them that I don't have, but I loved, and they're not out yet, so that's the reason why I don't have them. And that is Hellfest being the first one. I loved Hellfest. I put it in my top 5 favorite horror movies of the year. Absolutely loved it. I feel like it is very underrated, but that's not going to be the one I'm going to talk about when it comes to the underrated one. But I feel it is very underrated. It kind of came and went, and no one really talked about it. No one really gave it a lot of love. So if you have not seen Hellfest yet, definitely pick it up when it comes out. I think it comes out January 8th. I'm buying that one day 1. I'm so excited for that movie. And the other movie I'm going to talk about is Suspiria, the remake of Suspiria, or the retelling of it, because it's really not a remake at all. It has same characters, little homages to the original Dario Argento film, but it is its own movie. I love Suspiria. I was one of the lucky ones to actually go see it in theaters. It got a select theater screening. However, it is coming out at the end of January, and I recommend giving it a watch. It is far different from Dario's film, so don't go into the movie expecting Dario Argento's classic film. And I'm kind of glad that they changed it up. You know, Suspiria, Dario Argento's film, is one of those movies you cannot actually remake. There's just something special about it. So for me, Suspiria, the new movie, like I said, is a retelling. They took some of the characters that were in the original film, but they made their own movie, and I was really happy with that. So that's the way I think remakes should really do their movies, is not really try to do a shot-by-shot remake like some of the movies in the past, but do your own version of it while paying a homage to that original film. Now, going on to the movies I do have, and I do have the stack here, I'm going to talk about the first 2 movies that came out in the beginning of the year, and they were okay. I mean, they're good movies for what they are. One I like better than the other, but the first one, Insidious: The Last Key, this one came out at the beginning of January. I saw this in theaters. I've seen this twice, and while I do like the movie, I think it is the weakest one in the series, and I think this is a series that hopefully kind of ends soon. If they do a 5th one, let that be the last movie. And if this is the last movie, then it is a good ending to it. I just think that the series is now kind of trying to think of ideas. And this one wasn't as good as the first 3 movies. I think my biggest flaw with this film was the kind of midway point where they gave you kind of a twist. And I didn't really like it. So, but yeah, Insidious: The Last Key, good movie in the franchise. And again, if they do another movie, let that be the last one. Let's not drag it out and have terrible sequels. But Insidious: The Last Key, good movie. And Winchester came out in February. This one kind of came and went. Again, I don't love this film. I think it's good though. I actually liked it better than Insidious. And yes, they kind of do their own thing and add stuff within the Winchester story. A lot of this stuff definitely did not happen, I don't think. They had a lot more fun with it, and I had a lot of fun with the movie. Do I love the film? Definitely not, but I enjoy it for what it is. Winchester. This one actually came out maybe 2 or 3 months ago, but again, I think it's an okay film. I definitely have to rewatch it, but it is worth owning, and that is The Nun. Good movie, in my opinion. My theater experience was terrible, though. I had a chatty Cathy next to me the whole entire time, so for me, I didn't get to enjoy the movie as much as I wanted to, but from what I saw of it, I like it. I think it is one of the weakest, if not the weakest, of the Conjuring universe movies. But for what it is, it's solid. I think what I wanted more out of this was the nun character. I really think she wasn't in the movie as much as she needed to be, and I feel like her scenes in The Conjuring 2 were a lot more scarier than this whole entire movie was. But The Nun, it was a solid flick, and I had to buy it. Now going into some other horror movies that I'm going to talk about. This first one is Brian Dorton's Crazy Fat Ethel. Of course I had to mention this. This movie was filmed in 2016, but it came out this year on Blu-ray. Had a blast with this movie. I was very happy to be a part of this movie, but again, I still say I had a blast with it. I really enjoy it. I think this, again, is another remake where Brian paid homage to the original film, but did his own thing, and I was really, really happy with that. So Crazy Fat Ethel, pick it up if you have not picked it up yet. This next one, Hereditary. Yes, I did buy this movie. I bought it for $7.99 on Black Friday. That was the only way I was going to get this. In my opinion, it's a good film. It's okay at best. But I don't get all the hype for it. When you compare it to a movie like The Exorcist, I have a problem with that. I would actually compare it to Rosemary's Baby. Has the same vibe, same kind of feel in my opinion, and it really doesn't give a lot away. Where The Exorcist, you see a lot. Rosemary's Baby, they kind of give you an idea of what's going on, and you have to imagine a lot of it. This movie, of course, did show some stuff, but it also gave you a creepy atmosphere. I will say that. I do like the atmosphere, and I love the acting. But as far as the story goes, it's a good movie. Hereditary, definitely check it out though. Give it a watch and see what you think of it. The movie that I think is the one that kind of went under the radar, came and went, and yes, it's more sci-fi thriller, but for me, I'm going to still, put it in my horror movie category, and that is Upgrade. Loved this movie. Fantastic. I really had no idea what to expect going into the theater. And again, I was one of the fortunate ones to go see this in theaters because it didn't get a huge theatrical release. There were just some theaters playing it, but I loved Upgrade. If you've not seen it yet, definitely check it out. This is going to be funny because this movie right here, I actually don't have the Blu-ray yet. I do have the soundtrack, so it has a cover on it. And I have to say, the soundtrack is one of the best things about this movie. That, of course, is David Gordon Green's Halloween. You know my feelings on this movie. I walked out of the theater, actually each time, very disappointed overall. I mean, I'll just say disappointed. It was not the film I wanted it to be. This was a movie that I've been waiting for, like a Halloween movie overall, for almost 10 years. We have not had a Halloween movie until this for 10 years, or almost 10 years. And yeah, it was good. It's meh, in my opinion. In my opinion only. But yeah, Halloween, had to throw that on there. A Quiet Place, one of the best horror movies of the year. I absolutely loved this movie. I remember when I bought this movie, and in my video I said I really enjoyed it. I actually loved it. I don't know what I was thinking. I loved this movie. It was one of the best theater experiences of the year because everybody in the theater was literally quiet. No cell phones, no talking. You didn't hear anybody outside the theater. It was amazing. Loved watching this in theaters. I haven't watched it since, but I can't wait to rewatch it. Quiet Place. Another movie I loved, and again, you might say it could be 2017. I'm just going to say it's 2018. Terrifier. Loved Terrifier. This one actually surprised me because I'm not a big fan of All Hallows Eve, which Art the Clown was in. I think he was the best thing about that film right there. But I loved Terrifier, and that's why it really surprised me because, again, I was more disappointed in All Hallows Eve. So I went into this movie, finally watching it, open-minded, loved Terrifier. Definitely check it out if you've not seen it yet. And my favorite horror movie of the year, and of course I'm going to mention it as my favorite, that is Strangers Prey at Night. Now this movie is what I wanted Halloween to be. You know, have fun with the movie, but make it very suspenseful. And while Halloween did have some suspenseful moments in it, this one did it a lot better in my opinion. I love Strangers Prey at Night. I saw it 3 times in theaters. I've probably seen it at least 5 or 6 times overall. And for me, it actually surpasses the original one just a little bit. Love Strangers Prey at Night. If you saw this movie the first time and you really didn't care for it, or if you thought it was just good, go back and rewatch it. For me, I think it's going to be one of those movies where audience members are going to go back and watch. And if they didn't love it the first time, they're going to love it throughout the years. And it's going to get better and better for them. Love Strangers Prey at Night. Fantastic movie. Now guys, let's go through. I'm going to pick 4 of the movies that, again, was my favorite, the best one. Was the worst, the weakest one. Again, not really a terrible movie, but it is the weakest or the most disappointing one. I'm also going to pick the underrated one and the overhyped one. Now, I might get people mad with this video, but this is just my opinion, guys. Everybody has their opinion on these movies that came out. So real quickly, let me just go through these and pick them. I feel like these are the movies, again, underrated, overhyped, most disappointing, and favorite one that I'm, getting picked. There we go. Kind of had a brain fart there. The most underrated one, in my opinion, again, Upgrade. Check it out, guys. Awesome movie. Overhyped movie, in my opinion, Hereditary. Good film, but could have been better. The most disappointing movie of the year, and to me, this is the most disappointing, being that I'm a die-hard fan of the franchise, and I feel like this is one of the weakest ones of them. Halloween. Could have been better. And my favorite one, again, Strangers Prey at Night. Loved it. Anyway, guys, that is going to be my opinions on all the horror movies that came out of 2018. Of course, there's a lot of independent ones, straight-to-video ones that I haven't seen yet. But these are just the movies that I saw in theaters or I've seen recently that I wanted to talk about that came out in 2018. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, you guys are awesome. You guys rock. In with the positive, out with the negative. And like always, go eat some Skittles. Alright guys, bye.